Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I am so happy you found us. I'm Lisa. Today we are doing another great video about even smaller pieces of fabric and how you can use them. So let's get into this. Let's get started. Okay, so the pieces I'm talking about today that we're using are just these little slivers of fabric that we all end up with when we cut a pattern. We cut off extra seams or whatever. It's all these little pieces, and you might be saying, okay, girl, you are just getting a little bit out there. That's trash. But you know what? You can use them. Did you see the intro to the video? Those are some ideas I had, and they make great uses. One, you can make little tassels, and you can put them on little ball pins, little safety pins. You could put these on paper clips. You could put them on about anything you wanted to, and they are just the cutest little tassels ever. Another way is to put them inside buttons and make a little bow. Let me get it. See how cute that is, the bow and the button? The last way is to use them actually as stitches on journaling cards, tags, or whatever. As you can see, they pop more than just sewing with a sewing machine. You don't have to have a sewing machine to do it. You just need some little pieces of fabric that are exceptionally bright, so they show up really well. You don't need any special equipment to do this except one needle with a big eye on it, and that is it. So what you do is you take some of your scraps and you take a button, and I'm going to use the blue button here. Use this one. And I'm going to use this orange fabric because it's really bright and it has some blue on it. And I'm going to find a long piece. This is a long, scrappy piece. And I'm just going to thread my needle. Okay. Once you get it threaded, you don't have to go all the way through. Not necessary. And you just take your needle and you thread it through one side. And then I'm going to unthread my needle. Thread the opposite end. And I like using a needle. You don't have to use a needle if you don't want to. If you can thread, if you can manipulate the little pieces of fabric, the little skinny strips of fabric without doing a needle, you are more than, welcome to do it that way too. Okay. Once you get it through, you just bring it around to another hole in the button. I'm doing one across from it. And then pull it through. And take it off and just tie it into a bow. And there you go. Hold on. There you go. How cute is that? Sorry, it's just hard to hold to show you guys. There. How cute is that? Another bow, another button with a bow. So those are fun. I think that adds a little more if you want to use buttons, in mixed media, journaling, even on outfits, shirts, or whatever as embellishments. This is just another way to use up small, like trash fabric, basically, and, repurpose it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is make this little tassel on a little bulb pin. Again, these can go on regular safety pins. These could go on any type of clip. If you had longer strips and you wanted to use like a ring for a notebook, you could put them on that. So you could use them on many different things. So I'm going to get one out. Okay. And I'm going to do red and black again just because I like that. It's like Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Red. And then I'm doing 2 red and 1 black because I'm going to tie it with a black as well. And all I do is get my strands and lay them out longwise. And they're all different lengths, that's fine. Then I'm going to take my ball pin, open it up, and just put my little strips of fabric in there and close it. Now they're just hanging there, but they're not secured. So next I'm going to take my other piece of fabric and I'm going to lay it down on this little canvas so you can see. I'm going to put the piece I'm going to tie right there. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to try to tie it right under the little ball pin right there. Okay, and there is my tassel. Now I'm going to come back and cut some of the strips a little more if they were a little chunky for a tassel and I want it a little thinner. I'll come back in and I'm going to trim them all about the same length. And there you go. There you have another tassel. How awesome is that? And like I said, we're using strips of fabric that would normally go in the trash. See? This one I made shorter. You can make them longer or shorter. And then the last way is using the strips of fabric as actual thread. I'm going to use the same color I used here just so it shows up, this bright orange piece. Now I'm going to use my needle again because I'm just using it like thread. Okay. And then you just do like you sew. You just poke it through and pull it through. But don't pull it all the way through. I don't tie a knot in it because you really don't need it. You could put a little glue on the back. You could put a little tape. And that way you don't have the bulkiness of a knot back there. You can just lay it flat. And you just keep sewing like you would with thread. But the fabric is a great use for these strips of fabric. In fact, I think all three of these ways are a great use for these skinny leftover fabric strips from cutting, you know, the main whatever you want out of your fabric. I'm trying to get the blue, so let's do one more stitch. Then when you're done, you can just put a little glue on the back side so it is glued in place. You don't have to knot it. Just cut it off. Glue the back side down, and look how pretty. Isn't it gorgeous? I just really love using these long strips of leftover fabric. So then if you end up throwing anything away, now see, I'll save these because I can use them in sewing or a button or something. But then what you end up throwing away is like little pieces like that versus the longer strips. And you've made something really, really cool. So I hope you enjoyed these 3 ideas for even smaller pieces of fabric. If you did, be sure and give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and that little bell because I have videos planned 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And sometimes you get a bonus on the weekends, sometimes not. I have some great room decor stuff coming up soon. I'm redoing our bedroom. I have some great journal reviews coming up that I have bought from Etsy shops that totally weren't my style. So stay tuned. Bye.